Before I narrate this story, I am going to tell you it's outrageous. Just ridiculous. So here it is, my wife for 4 years, cheated on me 3 times with 3 different guys in 3.5 months. First time was my birthday weekend. Second was mid-May. Third was on my dad's birthday. The year after my dad passed away, 2022, was a crappy year trying to save our marriage. I decided to let her try dating women. Now she is in a serious relationship and already talking about her moving in with us and telling her she loves her. They have only been dating since February 14th. I am not without fault though. I have never cheated on her yet. I worked in a car factory a few years back and my wife mentioned that she thinks we should try a threesome with a girl. I wasn't completely sold on the idea. Surprising. I know. So I bragged, talked about it with the guys. I worked with a few women, also got in on the conversation. If anyone has worked in a factory, you know how it is. None of them were flirty about it or anything. So I mentioned this to my wife in passing and she flipped her shit. It was a big argument, bad idea or not. I stopped telling her about my conversations at work. Time passes and we get into a few arguments about similar issues. I cannot hide anything. When questioned if I think someone thinks I am lying, my live face will show she gets more and more possessive and jealous. I eventually leave the car factory and go to an Amazon fulfillment center. My wife likes the idea of a fresh start in the 8-minute commute to work. But make sure to mention she doesn't want a repeat of before. I am a friendly guy. So I get along with everyone. I talk to everyone. I moved around to different positions, meeting new people. Eventually I get on the amnesty team and become close friends with everyone, both males and females. We all go to lunch outside together, sit in each other's cars and hang out when we are not busy at work. My wife discovers this when she questions me and throws a fit. So I try not to hang out as much. December 2021. My dad gets sick and passes away. It hits me really hard, regretting not spending more time with him or talking to him more. After my parents split in 2011, my wife confronts me, but it's hard for her since she lost her daughter. In 2016, she makes a comment about 2 weeks about how I am making everything about my dad. So I started venting to my friends at work. One female in particular understood where I was at since she had very recently lost her husband to suicide. I'd be lying if I said I didn't find her attractive, but I only saw her as a friend a few times. Just her, and I would hang out at lunch in my car or hers talking about her husband or my dad. My wife found out and it really hurt our relationship. I start letting her hang out with old guy friends from high school, thinking that maybe she would be more understanding about who I hang out with at work. Mind you, I never hung out with any of them outside of work. April 2022, on my birthday weekend, I take off to spend time with my wife that Friday. I get off work and wait for her to come home. After hanging out with some of her friends, I call her and she says she is watching a movie and would head home soon. She gets home an hour later crying and tells me after I called she had sex with said the friend she was supposed to hang out with canceled. And she went over to another friend that she had a history with. She tells me he made a pass at her before I called but didn't leave. I was in shock. I didn't know what to think, ruined my weekend. But I forgave her. She told me it wouldn't happen again. May 2022. She goes over to the original friend's house to hang out after an appointment without telling me. They end up having sex. And it takes a few days this time for her to tell me again. I am in shock, but this time I am more angry about it. She tells me I am not giving her enough attention and she is tired of me hiding things from her about who I hang out with at work. She mentions she wants an open marriage only for her. Of course, it takes me a while to get over it and I forbid her from seeing any more guy friends. Also, around this time, I get a new job as a maintenance technician working for Amazon July 2022. I bury my dad's ashes July 2nd and start third shift July 3rd. I decided for some stupid reason to let her hang out with another friend. If I met them first, I meet him and he shakes my hand. They go to the drive-in movies and I go to work the next day. I questioned her about it and she said nothing happened. A week goes by and she comes down to wake me up after she gets off work. I ask her about it again and she finally admits they had sex. The guy the first shook hands with had sex with my wife. I was livid. I didn't talk to her the rest of the night. I leave for work. Pissed as hell, I decide, now is the time for therapy. I was really thinking about leaving her. It was a rough few weeks after that. I go back and forth on divorcing her. One Friday, I go hang out with an old friend from when I worked at the bank. I get really drunk and smoke some weed. When I get home, I break down and confess that I don't want to split up and want to work things out. Stupid. I know a few months later she brings up that she wants to try having an open relationship with a woman and I agree. I stupidly thought that she would find out that she wasn't interested in women or that she wouldn't find anyone. Well, I was wrong. She goes on a few dates, has sex with a few. February 2023. She announced that she had found a girlfriend and they made it official the weekend before Valentine's Day. She starts talking about her girlfriend moving in eventually, which I am not for at all. She also states that if we don't work out, she wouldn't date men anymore. She says it in a way to try to make me feel better, but it doesn't. Then just this week I overhear her tell her girlfriend that she loves her. I confront her about it and she assures me that she still loves me and still wants to be with me. She stayed the night at her girlfriend's house and comes home at 7 p.m. last night. I am really in a funk about it. I really regret letting her date women. I am really at a loss. I don't know what to do any time I bring up that I am unhappy. It turns into an argument. She tells me she doesn't want to break up and that she still wants to be with me. She has 2 kids, but we don't have any of our own. We have a house together and a bunch of debt. I know that if we were still in an apartment and less bills that I would have left her already. But all of that makes it so difficult to deal with. I apologize for the long read. I had a lot to get off my chest. I have considered cheating on her back, but I just can't commit to the idea. I know it wouldn't be right or make anything better, but I am so stuck. Thank you to those that read and provide any advice or feedback. I will keep you all updated. Thank you, everybody, for the reality check. I recently told my wife that I wanted to split. She took it as hard as expected. Now we must work towards splitting everything up, sell unnecessary belongings, cancel subscriptions to unneeded services, sell the house and pay off as much of our debt as possible. It's going to be a hard and long process, but I can already start to feel the weight left off my shoulders, in my opinion. And like I said, in the beginning, this story is outrageous. Why are these 2 people even in a relationship with each other? Doesn't make sense? So she cheats 3 times with 3 different men. Then his solution is to let her try dating women. Wait, what dating? I thought they were married. The problem I have with him is he knows all of this even after she told him and he continues to stay with this woman. Now, this is my definition of a true simp. This woman is selfish and she wants an open relationship, marriage for her, not for him. This is craziness. This is when I say logic over love at this point and get out until next time.